Greetings, scholars. I am Miss Malaki, the second grade ELA and humanities teacher at Fortune School. And this week, I'm going to introduce you to your new reading packet and writing assignments. Let's get started. Happy Monday, scholars. This is your new reading packet for the week. This one is going to be labeled as the Mysterious Tadpole. We are in week 37. Now, let's go ahead and look at our new vocabulary words for the week. Ordinary, control, cage, upset, sensible, confused, training, suspiciously. Now, what you can do is scroll down and look at the vocabulary in context. And what I would want you to do is read these sentences, these 8 sentences. I'm going to read them to you, but I want you to practice reading them on your own as well. Ordinary. An ostrich is not an ordinary bird. It runs quickly but cannot fly. Control. The rider uses reins to stay in control of the camel. Cage. If you own an iguana, you can let him out of its cage. Upset. This animal is upset because it sees danger. Sensible. These sensible hippos are smart enough to roll in cold mud on a hot day. Confused. Jack was confused. He had never seen an animal like this before. Do you know what animal this is? Go ahead and take a guess. Did you guess platypus? Ah, you are correct. Good job, scholars. Training. The training of a ferret takes time and patience. Suspiciously. The wolf looked at the woman suspiciously. It does not trust her. Now, we have a sense idea about what each word means because we have a sentence that goes with it. An ostrich is not an ordinary bird. It runs quickly but cannot fly. What do you think ordinary means in this context? And go. Excellent. Did you say common or not special? If you did, you're correct. An ostrich is not an ordinary bird. It runs quickly but cannot fly. In this context, ordinary means it's not your typical bird. It runs quickly, but it can't fly. So it's a flightless bird. So it is not an ordinary bird. So it's not common. So we can say ordinary means common or no special features. Good job, scholars. Now, try to come up with a sentence. I'm just going to use the one that they gave us. An ostrich is not an ordinary bird. You can use the sentences that they give you, or you can come up with your own. I would prefer that you come up with your own And only use these if you just need that little bit of a brain boost to help you out. When it comes to definitions, you're okay if you can't find the actual definition. You can type in the word in the search bar. You can type in control definition, and it will also help you out with the definition of as well. Now remember, please make sure your parent or guardian is next to you when you are using the search engine. We don't want to see any other things, and we want to just keep it strictly to the definition word. Okay? So this part right here, please have an older adult help you out, especially whenever you're searching for something, even if it's a definition. Make sure you always have an adult present to see what you're actually searching for. And they can also help you. Let's go back. So there are two ways to answer this. You can use the Google search, or you can use a dictionary, or you can even try to figure out what you think the word control means. Same with cage, upset, sensible, confused, training, or suspiciously. Then you would put those words in your own sentence. You will only use these ones if you need help. Okay? And go. Excellent job, scholars. Let's go ahead and continue and move on. So we have preview the topic on life cycles. We have already another writing response, the Mysterious Tadpole, and the directions are to read student page 383. Well, that's actually this page right here, right above it. And then we're going to answer this prompt by typing it out. So let's go ahead and preview the topic. Life cycles. All living things change as they grow. When most living things are born, they are different than when they are grown. Think about how people change. A baby looks and acts differently than a child. A child looks and acts differently than an adult. The changes that happen as living things grow is called its life cycle. You will read about how Lewis's pet grows in The Mysterious Tadpole. So remember, that's our story for the week, The Mysterious Tadpole. Now let's go ahead and look at our prompt. How are you different now than when you were in kindergarten? How do you think you will be different when you are in college? So let's go ahead and make some notes. And I'm going to push this little button right here with the 3 dots on it where it says bullets listed and make some bullet points first before I go into writing. So how are you different now? So we can say now I am taller. I can read and write. I can ride a bike. And let's see here. And now I have a puppy. So that's how you're different now. How about when you were in kindergarten? So I'm going to put kinder. What were you like in kindergarten? Think about it and go. Excellent job, scholars. Did you say smaller? Did you say slower? Maybe you were a slower runner. I'm going to put slow runner so you know what I'm talking about. And you played with different toys. It'd be pretty impressive if you were playing Fortnite at kindergarten and then still playing it now. So I'm just saying, maybe back then in kinder, you were playing with more action figures. And now, being in 2nd grade, you're playing more video games. That's something that's a big difference. Then let's look at college. How do you think you will be different from right now to college? Think about it and go. Excellent job, scholars. Did you say taller? Did you say, I will be able to drive? And then some of you might be 18 and say, I will be able to vote. That's something you get to do when you turn 18 is you get to vote. Now, you have your notes. I want you to come up with an RA response. Now, how did I get out of the bullet points? So right here, if you hit enter, another bullet point will appear. But if you hit backspace, you go all the way back, you end up right there. And look, the bullet points go away and you can begin your writing response. So we need to do an RA response. I expect you to restate the question, then answer the question. How many questions do we have? 2. So I expect 2 RA responses. So let's go ahead and begin. I will help you out with the first one, but then I want you to try to do an RA response on your own for the college one. So I will help you with a sentence starter, and then you'll continue it from there. How are you different now than when you were in kindergarten? I want you to come up with the RA statement, the restate the question, and go. Excellent job, scholars. Did you use the word different in kindergarten in your sentence? If you did, kudos. So let's go ahead and come up with one. How are you different now than when you were in kindergarten? I am different now than when I was in kindergarten because, and continue on to answer the question. Then make sure you answer the college question. How do you think you will be different when you're in college? And I want you to try this one all by yourself and go. Excellent job, scholars. I can't wait to read your response. And I'm sure I can't wait, or the other teachers can't wait to read your responses as well. So now let's go ahead and scroll down. We have this story, The Mysterious Tadpole. And for the first day, I'm going to have the audio be read to you. So you get to hear the audio version. And then make sure you finish your erase response and make sure you finish your vocab and you're done for Monday. So let's go ahead and listen to this story.
Mysterious Tadpole, written and illustrated by Stephen Kellogg. "Greetings, nephew," cried Lewis's Uncle McAllister. "I've brought a wee bit of Scotland for your birthday." "Thanks," said Lewis. "Look, Mom and Dad, it's a tadpole." Lewis named him Alphonse and promised to take very good care of him. Lewis took Alphonse to school for show and tell. "Class, here we have a splendid example of a tadpole," exclaimed Miss Shelbert. "Let's ask Lewis to bring it back every week so we can watch it become a frog." Miss Shelbert was amazed to see how quickly Alphonse grew. "Maybe it's because he only eats cheeseburgers," said Lewis. When Alphonse became too big for his jar, Lewis moved him to the kitchen sink. "He's the perfect pet," said Lewis. Lewis and Alphonse loved to play games. "Be careful, Lewis," said his mother. "The living room is not a soccer field. Something is going to get broken." And she was right. That same day, the soccer ball slammed into Aunt Tabitha's antique lamp. "This tadpole is out of control," said Lewis's mother. "Something must be done." "It won't happen again," promised Lewis. "I'll take Alphonse to obedience school." The only animals at the obedience school were dogs. Some of their owners stared at Alphonse suspiciously. "Pretend you're a dog," whispered Lewis. Alphonse tried to bark, but it sounded like a burp. "Hold on a minute," said the trainer. "What kind of dog is this?" "He's a hairless spotted water spaniel from Scotland," explained Lewis. Alphonse quickly learned to sit, stay, and retrieve. He graduated at the top of his class. "My parents will be very pleased," said Lewis. But Lewis's parents were not pleased when Alphonse outgrew the sink and had to be moved to the bathtub. "This shower is too crowded," complained Lewis's father. "This bathroom is a mess," moaned Lewis's mother. At least Lewis's classmates enjoyed Alphonse, who was still making weekly visits. "Wow, show and tell is more fun than recess," they yelled. But one day, Miss Shelbert decided that Alphonse was not turning into an ordinary frog. She asked Lewis to stop bringing him to school. By the time summer vacation arrived, Alphonse had outgrown the bathtub. "We could buy the parking lot next door and build him a swimming pool," suggested Lewis. "Be sensible," declared Lewis's parents. "Swimming pools are expensive." "We're sorry, Lewis, but this situation has become impossible. Tomorrow you will have to take your tadpole to the zoo." "But I can't put my friend in a cage," cried Lewis. That night, Lewis was very sad until he remembered that the gym in a nearby high school had a swimming pool. Lewis hid Alphonse under a carpet and smuggled him inside. "Nobody uses this place during the summer," whispered Lewis. "You'll be safe here." After making sure that Alphonse felt at home, Lewis said goodbye. "I'll be back tomorrow with a big pile of cheeseburgers," he promised. Lewis came every afternoon to play with Alphonse. In the mornings, he earned the money for the cheeseburgers by delivering newspapers. The training continued as well. Lewis would say, "Alphonse, retrieve!" and Alphonse would succeed every time. As summer vacation passed, Lewis became more and more worried about what would happen to Alphonse when the high school kids returned. After his first day of classes, Lewis ran to the high school and found the gym bustling with activity. The swim team was heading for the pool. "Stop!" cried Lewis. "On your mark," bellowed the coach. "Get set." "Excuse me, sir," said Lewis. "Go!" roared the coach. Alphonse rose to the surface to welcome the swimmers. "It's a submarine from another planet," shrieked the coach. "Call the police! Call the Navy!" "No, it's only a tadpole," said Lewis. "He's my pet." The coach was upset and confused. "You have until tomorrow," he cried, "to get that creature out of the pool." Lewis telephoned his friend, Miss Severs, the librarian, and asked for her help. "I'll be right there," she said. Miss Severs rushed to meet Lewis at the high school. When she saw Alphonse, she was so startled that she dropped her purse into the water. "Retrieve," said Lewis, and Alphonse did. "Where did this astounding animal come from?" cried Miss Severs. "He was a birthday gift from my uncle," Lewis replied. Miss Severs telephoned to Uncle McAllister. "Oh, the wee tadpole?" he said. "Why, he came from the lake nearby. It's the one folks call Loch Ness." "Brace yourself, Lewis," Miss Severs said. "I believe your uncle found the Loch Ness monster." "I don't care," cried Lewis. "Alphonse is my friend, and I love him. He pleaded with Miss Severs to help him raise enough money to buy the parking lot so he could build a big swimming pool for Alphonse. Suddenly, Miss Severs had an idea. "Long ago, a pirate ship sank in the harbor," she said. "No one has ever been able to find it, or its treasure chest. But perhaps we can." The next morning, they drove to the harbor and rented a boat. "This is a treasure chest," cried Louis. "Retrieve!" Alphonse disappeared under the water and returned with the chest. It was filled with gold and jewels. "Let's buy the parking lot and get to work," cried Miss Severs. Louis's parents were shocked to see a construction crew in the parking lot. "Louis," they cried, "what in the world is going on here?" "Alphonse found a pirate treasure ship," explained Louis, "and we used part of our gold to buy you this present." Louis's parents were shocked once again. "Tickets for a vacation cruise to Hawaii?" they gasped. "And," said Louis, "you don't have to worry about us because Granny has agreed to babysit." They hugged Louis. They kissed Alphonse. "How soon can we leave?" they cried. "Immediately," said Louis. By the time Louis's parents returned, the swimming pool was being enjoyed by everyone in the city. A week later, Louis said, "Alphonse, tomorrow is my birthday, which means that you've been my best friend for a whole year." The next day, Uncle McAllister arrived for the party. "Greetings, Louis, my lad," he exclaimed. "I've come with a curious stone from the hills of Scotland. Happy birthday!" "Wow, thanks," said Louis. Suddenly, the stone began to tremble and crack.
Awesome job, scholars. Now, remember, you need to do this part, which is the Mysterious Tadpole topic page, and your vocabulary page, and you are done with Monday. Thank you for watching.